What's up, everybody? It's Lamika here with The Real About Entrepreneurship. And today I am bringing to you someone that is helping me keep my eating habits on point. And so I thought, you know what? I need to share her with the world. So today on the podcast or the YouTube channel, I want you guys to welcome Beth of Sacking, Boca Raton. So Beth, welcome to The Real About Entrepreneurship. How are you?
Hi, thanks so much for having me, Lamika. I'm really excited.
Awesome. So I've been talking to Beth. Beth has been getting me back on track of eating what I'm supposed to. She has been a good sport because I have been challenging. But Beth, I mentioned that in the intro. So before I go too deep, tell them the audience a little bit about you and your business.
Okay, great. I'm actually a serial entrepreneur, so this is my third business. I've had my background initially was food and beverage. Then I had a children's gym for 11 years. I had a restaurant for 5 years. So this is my third business. I've been doing this for 5 years as well, coming back to food and beverage more on the nutrition side with a focus on weight loss, food sensitivity, and most importantly, creating and sustaining healthy habits. So that's really my focus with everyone that I meet. And I love it because I get to really, truly know people. At least
Yes.
I think I know them.
Well, she has definitely gotten to know me, and I'm like, Beth, I've been doing this. Like, wait a minute now. So no, that's pretty cool. So I love the fact that you're a serial entrepreneur. So am I. Wait, you said you had a children's gym?
I did. I loved it. It was wonderful.
Wow, that's cool. All right. So I was actually introduced to Beth probably about 5 years ago, maybe longer than that. The pandemic kind of changes things in my mind. And so I had known her, but I actually got to finally meet you in person just here recently. And so I was saying, I'm like, Beth, look, the struggle is real. I'm back traveling now. So, my eating has gotten out of control. Um, so I wanted to talk about, as entrepreneurs, we're busy and we start, we grab the quickest thing that we can eat. And so I wanted you to, I guess, give us some guidance on how we can be better at it and how your program can help others be better at operating at their optimal self as an entrepreneur.
Sure. Yes. I mean, traveling, obviously, you're throwing everything off. So planning for that is really the key. But I do find that time blocking is so important. Knowing when you're going to do something, for example, working out and putting it on your calendar for the day. So I actually use a tear off. I don't have it. I have it a few feet away from me, but I use a tear off sheet. So the night before I get organized and I write out all of the things that I want to do. I time block in my workouts because if I didn't, I would not get them in.
Right.
And I plan everything. I read this book months ago called The One Thing. It's really great, but it's really focused on what is your very most important thing for the day. So I make sure I highlight that on my time blocking and I'm planning. So, and the same thing goes with food. If you do not plan, if you do not prep, you're going to reach for something that you shouldn't reach for. That's not necessarily the healthiest choice because you're going to be scrambling.
Right.
So that's I would say the biggest key to being successove in maintaining your proper nutrition and staying healthy.
Okay. And I will say those tips that you have been a big part of my success since what's that end of I don't know if that was the end of January. I think that was the end of January. And so that's what I have loved about connecting with you, because all of those things I had fallen off, with the pandemic. I think I was telling you, I kind of got laxed in my schedule. Because before I was getting up and I was working out at a specific time and I was doing this at a specific time. And so I had kind of gotten laxed, and you shared with me those things. And I was like, oh, I forgot I was doing that. So
right.
The time blocking is very big. And you also shared with me The One Thing, and I read that, and that has helped me out a lot. I actually have listened to it while at the gym. And so I was like, dang, she's good. She's got me back on track. And, there's a lot of things that we know and we need somebody to remind us of it. So what are some I guess what are some outside of time blocking? I know one of the challenges for me is like, okay, I don't know necessarily, I know what to eat, but I may not know how to put it all together. So what is something that, people can do to be able to put a meal together or to put a snack together so that they can stay on track?
It's all about keeping it colorful. So you want your plate to be pretty, have all different colors. I am strictly about eating fresh fruits and vegetables and lean protein. I'm a big believer in a Mediterranean style diet as a way to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That's fruits and vegetables, lean protein, but also healthy fats like nuts, seeds. Olive oil is so good for you. On my program in particular, we use avocado oil, as you know, Lamika, but eventually we switched back to the olive oil because it's got health benefits. And then of course the whole grains in moderation. Quinoa, farro, oats, sweet potatoes, brown rice. I actually personally I limit those to the weekend, but that's really what my body can handle and at my age.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
but really keeping it pretty. I sit down personally, I sit down on Saturdays and I made a don't have that handy either. I made a meal planning sheet that I give to my clients. It lists on one side what you're gonna fill in what you're gonna make each day. Attached is sort of a grocery list. So you're saying, okay, on Monday, this is what I'm gonna have. I want to make some roasted eggplants, maybe some quinoa. So then the grocery list part is there. It's going on there. Sundays, I go to the store and then and I also prep for my week.
Okay.
Prepping is key.
Yes, prepping is key. And that's one of the things, and we're talking about your program. So before we get too further along, you mentioned the program that you have. Do you want to share with us what that program is? And I will say that it has been amazing for me. And working specifically with you it's been great because it just hasn't been about me losing weight, but it's been about me making sure I eat the right things. And I remember very early on, I had a vision board party weekend. And that Sunday we were scheduled to go to brunch. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm here to just mess up all the work I've done. And you said, no, just send me the name of the restaurant. And we looked at the menu and you told me what were my better options for me to eat. And I left there feeling so good about the choice because the choice that I sent you was not on what you sent me back. So I feel good about that. So can you share with us about your program?
Sure. And yeah, you can still enjoy a meal, but and planning ahead of time, whether you're utilizing me to plan ahead of time or you're just taking a look at the menu in advance, so you're not going there and being like, it really is important. But the program that I do, it's called Sadkin Therapy. It's a combination of 3 different elements. We use these acupressure balls, these tiny stainless steel balls. I use this medical tape to affix them behind my client's ear. And they're actually patented for hunger control. So we detox the stomach and liver, we do the gallbladder and spleen, and we do the colon and intestines. So that Mediterranean style diet that I had mentioned earlier is a great way to live your life. And that is my end game for everybody. This program is more of a detox to flush out the fatty tissue that's trapped on your organs, getting you to the healthy weight. So then we can add back in the healthy fats and the whole grains. Those are the only things missing to have a more well-rounded diet once you've reached your goal. So the balls are controlling your hunger and flushing out the fat. We combine it with intermittent fasting, which I'm a huge proponent of intermittent fasting. That is how I live my life. And I actually combine it with Mediterranean style diet. That's my end game for people if they can enjoy the intermittent fasting, which is, I liken it to hitting Control-Alt-Delete on a computer because you are essentially rebooting your body as you do it every single day. It's like regenerating your cells. So it's so good for you. It's not just about weight loss. It's good for your entire body. It's like sloughing off the dead skin, like if you had a scrubber on the outside of your skin,
Oh
you're doing
yeah.
that on the inside. So
Mhm.
how cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool. And I can totally tell the difference whenever I'm doing what I'm supposed to, I can completely tell the difference in my skin, how it looks, how it glows, how I feel. And that's what I love about being on the program. And I love the fact that you've shared like how you can transition and be able to maintain. And it is about a lifestyle. It's not so much about losing the weight. So when you're on the program, like what types of, because you mentioned fruits and vegetables, what types of, are there specific types of fruits and vegetables that you eat, or like how does the program work?
Sure. So we do really any fruits and vegetables. The only ones that would be a no would be grapes.
Mhm.
And we have some that are limited. Bananas, mangoes, and avocado are not unlimited. Whereas if, let's say, you took a big bowl of berries and you combine blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, I'm a big fan of berries, full of antioxidants. You could eat that as much as you want. But I say that, and I want to go back to that. But we do 2 days of fruits and vegetables. So you can pick up to 4 different types of vegetables and again, eat as much as you want. And I'm using those words, but I'm using them carefully. You're not going to stuff yourself. We're really working on your hunger cues. That's the biggest takeaway from the program because we're developing these healthy habits, which I do want to say something. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but
Me and you both, but it's all good.
you had mentioned how you did have all these healthy habits to begin with, and then you just really needed that kick in the butt and to bring you back down to where you were before, and someone to hold you accountable. So that's really what we're talking about. And a lot of times people know what they're supposed to do, but they just need the accountability. I do that with them. Okay, so we've got the 2 days of the fruits and vegetables, and we do something called protein cycling. Then we do 2 days of protein. 2 days of fruits and vegetables, 2 days of protein. So it's cycling like that. And the reason for that is it gives your body a chance to break down what's already there because you're having less types of foods. So then your body doesn't have to work hard and it's just breaking down the foods much more easily.
Mhm. Okay.
So we have the fruits and vegetables, lean proteins. A great example would be whole milk Greek yogurt. That's a great lean protein and it's doing some wonderful things for your gut. Eggs, another wonderful lean protein. So maybe you could scramble some eggs, throw some spinach in there, some onions. It's a great meal. If you're going out, fish is another wonderful lean protein. Fish or shrimp or scallops with some veggies on the side is a perfect meal. So knowing what you're heading into when you're going out, I like people to still be able to have a social life. You know, just because you're dieting doesn't mean you have to stay home and eat something really boring and disgusting. You should feel empowered in what you're doing and enjoy what you're having and enjoy the choices that you're making and not have to change your lifestyle. So you have a crazy lifestyle. You are traveling like a ridiculous amount of time. I really don't know how you do it, but good for you. That's great. But it definitely throws off your circadian rhythms. It makes it certainly more challenging, but planning for it and prepping it for it and knowing how to order when you go out on these trips is so key.
Yes.
You've gotten the hang of that so easily.
Yes, I've gotten the hang of it so easily, but I've gotten the hang of it because of the accountability that you provide. And that is one thing that I've come to love about working with you is the fact that I know that I can reach out to you and say, hey, what about this? Or I have these things coming up, March was busy. It was a lot going on. And I'm like, I got to go eat here and I got to go eat here. And you're like, wait a minute, wait. So, but I was still able to do it. And I didn't lose as much as I should have if I would, if I hadn't done that, but I still lost a good amount that I was happy with. And you were able to provide me the information. So going back to that accountability, like you said, because it's not just about the weight loss, but it's also the energy that you need to have to be able to run your business. And that is one of the things that I have noticed is that my energy level is different. Now I'm back on a schedule. I'll get up in the morning. I'm back to, working out. Like I've got it all planned out. And so like, I've told you, I've got these trips coming up. And so you've shared that information with me. So for someone that, the busy lifestyle, because like I was saying, I work a full-time job as well as, I love helping other people grow their businesses, which is why I have the Real About Entrepreneurship. So for someone that may not be able to work with you, or if someone did want to work with you, or let's just go back, for someone who is just trying to get it together and they may not have reached out to you yet to work with you, what are some things that they can do to help them get themselves on track to feeling better?
Okay. So the first thing I do when I meet with somebody is we go through their habits. I have actually a 9-page intake form, and it helps them think about each of their habits. So maybe if somebody's not meeting with me, they want to do this on their own, they can start thinking about how often am I going to the grocery store? Because if you're going like 3 or 4 times a week, you're not planning.
Right.
You're running in, you're running out, you're not thinking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one indication.
Mm-hmm.
How much are you drinking? Are you paying attention to what you're having? Like how many times a day are you filling a water bottle?
I know
Where's
you
yours?
got me together.
All right. How often are you making it to the gym? And if you're not making it to the gym, even having 10 minutes to yourself where you can do some form of getting your heart rate up, some form of exercise. Maybe you're on a Zoom and you can do it standing up. You burn 30% more calories just standing up. These are the little habits that you really want to pay attention to. And pay attention to what you're ordering and when you're ordering it. Like when you're going out to eat. Are you going out to eat at 8 o'clock at night? Could you maybe switch it to 6:30 at night? What are you doing after your meal? Are you a Netflix and nosh kind of person? That's a big habit that needs to break for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I save a lot of chores for after dinner. So instead of cleaning as I go, which we're all, I used to do, and we're all kind of drilled into us, oh, you should clean up as you're cooking. No, I wait till that after I'm done eating, because then I know I'm guaranteed to stand up and do this activity after dinner. I have to clean up. I dump my clean laundry on the floor and I'm bending and picking it up. I'm trying to stay active as I'm picking up and folding each piece of laundry. I'm doing it standing. So and just incorporating little things to keep you moving throughout the day. But I would say the best place to start is to really analyze each of your habits.
No, that's really good. I didn't think about that. I'll have to make that adjustment, because I am definitely a clean as you go kind of person, because I don't want anything out of place once I'm done. So I will definitely, I'm definitely going to try adjusting when I do other chores, because I didn't think about what role that plays in me being active after I've eaten. So that is really good. Now we talked about, I do travel a lot. So while on the program, what are, I guess, when you travel, how can someone prep traveling? Because prepping is very different when I'm at home versus, when I'm traveling. So how does that work for someone? Because my audience, there are a lot of people that travel for work. So yeah, how would that work?
Absolutely. And travel days themselves, the actual day that you're traveling, can be the trickiest day. Airports tend to throw everything out the window and people start reaching for all sorts of things. I was that person too. Like the innocuous looking trail mix. Oh my gosh, so much going on in that trail mix that is not good. Number one, hydration. Staying hydrated when you travel is key. So they have now all these water stations that you can refill your bottle at the airport. So while you can't bring water through security, you can bring that empty bottle, fill it up right on the outside, on the other side of security. I had a client this past week go home to St. Louis, and she said, normally, Beth, I would bring this bag of all this different candy to nibble on all throughout the plane ride. So we talked about what else she could bring, and she sent me a picture of her cut up crudité. So she had like carrots and celery and cucumbers all cut up in this little baggie, and she brought that on. Being prepared for that, knowing that you're not going to buy something healthy on the other side of security. It's just not going to happen. So coming with those items is really the best bet. And then when you get to where you're going, trying to plan your meetings so that if they're a dinner meeting or a lunch meeting, that they're at a good time for you, where you can stay busy afterwards, because an 8 p.m. dinner is not going to be a healthy dinner for you. And trying to push those as early as you can, and looking at the menu ahead of time to see if you can know what healthy options there are going to be.
Okay. And those are good. I'm again, over and over, I keep hearing being prepared, having an accountability partner, and knowing the right things to have with you to be able to make those adjustments. Like, that is, that's huge. And the socializing part of it, as entrepreneurs, we're socializing, we're networking. And so, that can definitely be challenging to make sure that we're making the right choices. Because a lot of times these dinners are late. And I am one of those where I'm like, okay, wait a minute, those are fries over there. Those fries look really good. I think I need to have those fries. And so, that can definitely be a challenge. But I do like the fact that the medical, the Subo balls that are behind my ear, because I have them on right now behind my ear. I love the fact that it allows me to focus on what I am eating because I'm not hungry. Like, that for me was the big part, because a lot of people are like, when they're trying to lose weight, they're like, oh, but I'm hungry all the time. And so we all know what happens when we're hungry. We just choose kind of whatever.
Right.
But I do like the fact that with them behind my ear, they definitely have allowed me to not be hungry, and allows me to, focus on what I'm eating. And obviously when I do eat something, I will tell Beth, I was very aware of what I was eating. I was aware that I was aware I made the choice to eat it. Let me just own that that's what I did. But that's the first part of it. Now, how much, because a lot of times, we're eating, we're stress eating, we're emotional eating, are there any other tips for what to do when those types of things happen? Because a lot of times I think when I am eating and I know that I'm eating, it's because it's sometimes out of stress. So are there any tips that you have for how to be better with that?
Okay. Yeah. There were a few things that I wanted to touch on with what you said. The hunger cues, I had wanted to go back to that and I neglected to. That is really the big takeaway from the program, is tuning into your body and making sure that you are eating because you are legitimately hungry, and it's not out of any other reason, including emotion or boredom or anything. So making sure, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you're starving, not waiting too long. So I have my clients eat at a 7 on that scale. An 8, you waited a little bit too long. And you might just grab for the first thing. You'll probably eat too fast because you waited too long. But also a 6 is, I'm just a little bit hungry. You're probably really just thirsty. Right. Could have a drink of water at that first sign of hunger that you think you feel. I like in social situations, grabbing like a club soda with like some lemon, some lime in there, sipping on that. I think do find helpful. So if you are legitimately hungry, excuse me, go ahead and eat, but know when to stop. So on that same hunger scale, a 1 is that very uncomfortable feeling, I'm stuffed, roll me out of here. And we typically feel when we go out to eat, because you're sitting there for so long, you're not paying attention, a little of this, a little of that. So I personally try to get up midway through a meal to check in with myself. You don't realize how much you've eaten until you stand up. And then suddenly it's like, oh, stand up midway through meal. Try and sip your drink, your water throughout the meal too. That really does help. And between meals, mouthwash kills any cravings. So I carry a little thing of mouthwash, and having a clean palate, it really can kill a craving. So at the first sign of something that you think could be hunger, but it's probably just a craving, use some mouthwash. It will, I swear to you, it will kill it.
I'm getting that.
If it does, you're getting that. Okay. If it doesn't, you have this craving, I told you right from the beginning that I am a believer in a conscious indulgence.
Mm.
If your body is saying, I need that piece of chocolate, give it to me, have it. Those, those Godiva ones that are individually wrapped,
Mhm, mhm.
those are great. Keep in the back of the freezer. Pull one out. That's why it's individually wrapped, because you're supposed to just have one.
Now, Beth,
And
I don't do just one. Okay, so I just don't even do it because I know myself. So I don't even buy them at all.
okay, well,
Because I have done what you said, and this goes back to knowing yourself. I have bought the bag and then I've just given it away to someone that does not live in my house so that I can't go and bribe them to give me one. So you got to figure it out, how it works. Okay, go ahead. I just had to say that.
I know. Well, look, it's not for everyone, but I do think that if your body is saying you must have this thing, and if you don't have that one little tiny bit of that thing, you might choose 5 other things to try and satisfy it. And that's not great either.
Yeah.
So like that one French fry that you needed, you don't need to have a big plate of French fries, but maybe 1 or 2, you could be good and you could walk away and then go use the mouthwash.
Right. Yes. I'm definitely going to use that. Again, Beth she has been great for me getting myself back on track, and getting back on track with what I'm eating and being mindful of it, because I go back to my pictures and I'm like, oh, what was I doing when I look like this? And it was because my food was dialed in. I was very dialed into my food, and Beth has definitely helped me to get back on track with that. So Beth, for someone, as we wrap it up, for someone that wants to dial their food in, they're entrepreneur, they're busy, how can they work with you?
My website is naturalweightlossflorida.com. You can schedule on there. If you are out of state, I do it via Zoom, like we're doing. And otherwise, if you are nearby, I also see clients in my lovely little office right here.
Yes.
So we have a couple of options there. And hopefully you'll also post my phone number when you put this out there.
So yeah, absolutely. So I'll definitely post your phone number. So the website is Natural Weight Loss Florida. And are there any other social media handles or anything like that they can contact you, or are those the best way to do that?
Those really are the best way. My LinkedIn page has quite a bit too, which is just Beth. I want to say it's -Mayrav, but it could be underscore.
Okay, it's all good. I'll have everything in the comments, so that for those that are watching, they can reach out to you. And because you are a serial entrepreneur, I call myself a multi-passionate entrepreneur. Because I have one of the things is that, we do Beth talked about the Super Balls that you put behind your ear. And so there's a stimulation of those every 2 hours. And one of the things that I have used that for, even when I'm not on the program, is to provide me with an affirmation or to provide me a goal that I'm trying to reach or something like that. But it is a motivator to me. And I have those set even when I'm not on the program, to go off every 2 hours. When people are around me, they get aggravated by it. But hey, we get motivated and we keep going. So Beth, what is an affirmation or a quote that you use to get you going?
I actually keep a list of quotes on my phone, and that I read through all of these all of the time. But let me see if I can just pick out my best one so I can okay. Actually, this is my favorite one. I have it in caps at the top. The state of your life is a reflection of your state of mind.
The state of
the state of your life is a reflection of your state of mind. So I'm really about keeping it positive, trying to find, not annoying, but trying to find the positive spin on things, no matter what it is, because things happen as they're supposed to. I was supposed to go to Costa Rica last week and didn't notice my passport was expired. So put a positive spin on it and went to St. Augustine. You know,
Hey,
things happen.
that's pretty cool. That's why I didn't bother you last week. I thought you were gone. So now I know.
I was
But
supposed to be.
that's still fun. No, and I do love that. And so just in closing, again, the Real About Entrepreneurship is all about connecting entrepreneurs with experiences that I've had that I enjoy and people that I enjoy working with. And Beth is definitely one of those people. So if you are a busy entrepreneur, and even if you don't want to lose weight, but you want to feel good and you want to get back on track with your eating, Beth is definitely someone that you want to reach out to. And I am going to list her information in the comment section. And I do read the comments. So if you have questions, definitely feel free to put them below. And if I don't know, I will ask Beth and we'll get your question answered. But Beth, before we go, is there anything that I didn't ask about the business that I should have asked or that you want to share before we go?
I do want to say for a moment about the food sensitivity testing, because that is also a really big part of my business. A lot of times you're just feeling lousy and you don't know why. And it could so easily be something that you're ingesting. A simple blood test I do, and I can even send someone the test and then we go through it together. Just eliminating a handful of foods or even just one food can be life-changing.
Wow.
Very impactful.
Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to be asking you to have that test sent to me. So that's really good. But again, Beth, I appreciate you for helping me get back on track. I appreciate you saying yes to being on I'm calling it a podcast. I guess here I'm going to be podcasting soon. I have another podcast, but I'm probably going to make this one into a podcast now. But I want to thank you for coming on and sharing this information. Guys, again, if you have any questions about, Natural Weight Loss Florida, definitely check out Beth's website. And again, put your questions in the comment section. And until next time, peace.
Thanks so much.